Owning a gaming PC and being a PC gamer is amazing. There's so many positives to it. You get to customise your hardware to exactly what you want. You get to personalise and customise your desktop and your software and everything that is to do with your PC. You get more games, you get better graphics, you get better frame rates, you get better display technology, though they do work with consoles too. We get cheaper games, more games, Steam summer sales. We can use our computers for other things. You can make spreadsheets, you can make Word documents, you can learn coding, you can make videos, you can edit videos, edit photos, upload them to the internet, you can go on discussion forums, you can do basically anything you want with a gamer PC. But it's not all rainbows and sunshines. Some of the parts of PC gaming and owning a gaming PC are nothing but aggro and irritation. And I'm going to go through them today. I'm going to start off calm. I'm going to start off with what I think is slight irritations, and I'm going to work my way up to something that pisses me off. So we'll start at the bottom. Feeling forced to upgrade. Now, I've just fell for this trap myself. I've just upgraded my graphics card in my PC. Did I need to? No, not really. Did I want to? Yes, a lot. My old graphics card was struggling a little bit. I thought, I'll get a new graphics card, that'll help. But all I've really done is create another problem, which is that I now need to upgrade my CPU and my motherboard because my graphics card's running at PCIe Gen 3 and my CPU is underpowered for my graphics card. Hence the irritation with upgrading your PC. There's always something else that needs to be upgraded. I'll upgrade the platform, I'll upgrade the CPU and the RAM, and I'll be like, yep, I'm fine, I'm done. And then I'll be like, oh, I could do with a Gen 4 SSD though. I don't need a Gen 4 SSD. The difference in loading time is so small, it doesn't matter in the slightest. But I'll get one. I know I will. And you know why? Because I'm an idiot. Feeling forced to upgrade, that is the first one. Everyone's gone through it. I completely understand it. A new game comes out, you're really excited to play it. Your hardware doesn't run it the best, you upgrade. Although this is the negatives, it is a plus side that you can do that and you haven't got to just go and buy a whole new PC. So, the second thing that does my head in with PC gaming, unoptimized games. This one really bugs me. I get that PC developers want their games to look incredible and more power to them. But optimizing your game so that older hardware can play it is never going to be a bad thing. It's always going to be a really good thing. The more people that can play your game, the more people that have got access to it, the more sales you're going to drive. It doesn't matter if the low preset for the graphics look completely different to the high, as long as the game and the experience is good, regardless of what hardware you're playing on, you're golden. Now, I know Unreal Engine 5 is one of the biggest issues when it comes to optimization at the minute. I'm not really sure, and I don't know the ins and outs of it, but Unreal Engine 5 just seems like it does not run well on anything but high-end hardware. And even when it does, it still seems choppy and stuttery. I need to give Stalker 2 a try. That's the one that always comes on my radar when it comes to Unreal Engine 5. Unoptimized games, there's not really much to say on it. It's just really irritating, especially if you've got friends that have got lower or aging hardware and they can't play the game or they can't play it at the fidelity that they want to and stuff like that. Or you yourself can't play it at the fidelity you want to because it's so unoptimized. It's so annoying, so annoying. Next one is Perma-alpha and Perma-beta games. Games that never seem to get a full release and they just stay in alpha and beta permanently. And this irritates me for a couple of reasons. One, you've got properly like games that will never be finished, like Star Citizen. But then you've got things like Dwarf Fortress, Grey Zone Warfare, and there's loads of others, where it just seems to take a ridiculous amount of time to either go from alpha to beta or beta to a full game. And it's annoying because you are buying these games, you're supporting the game development. You don't really feel like your money's gone anywhere or done anything. Like, you still get the updates and stuff like that, but surely going from an alpha to a beta will create a bit more momentum. People are like, oh, it's becoming finished. They're getting there. I'll jump on now and I'll see what it's like. The next thing about PC gaming that just drives me up the wall, the toxic attitude of people on social media. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some amazing, amazing forums out there that will help you all day long. There's 1,000,001 Reddit posts and threads and groups that will help with people trying to build PCs, that will help people diagnose and troubleshoot stuff, which is an amazing community, and I love that about PC gaming. But then you've got the other side of it, where someone will put up, I have a £500 budget, what's the best PC I can make? And people are helping, and then you always get a couple of dickheads come in and be like, just spend £1,000. I'm sorry. Do you not know how a budget works? Just spend £1,000. Why are you spending £500? Just wait. What if they don't want to wait? What if they can't really see themselves having £1,000 at any point in their future? They have £500 and they want to get into PC gaming. Help them. By all means, say to them and ask, can you squeeze any more budget out? Can you squeeze an extra 50, 60, 70 quid out? If they say no, help them with that budget. But when I see people ask for a £500 budget PC and people are like, spend £1,000, grand minimum. Are you joking? You've got things like the RX 6600, still very capable at 1080p gaming. You've got the entire 20 series launch that are still capable at 1080p. You've got the lower end 30 series, especially things like 3060 Ti and the 3070 that are amazing at 1080p. There is no reason why someone couldn't build themselves a very capable 1080p gaming machine, especially with used hardware, for £500. I've done it with new hardware and created a more than capable 1080p gaming system that is still being used today and hasn't had a single upgrade. Don't be toxic. Don't sit there and go, what do you mean you haven't got a 5090? Are you a peasant? Not everyone has the resources that you have. Not everyone has the resources I have. Not everyone has the resources that the next person's got. That's how it works. Up until recently, I was gaming on a 3070. Very, very, extremely lucky to have had a 3070 for the last 5 years. And I've only just upgraded. Did I need to? No, not really. Did I want to? Yeah. Do I look down on someone that's still on a 2060? No. Do I look down on someone that's on a 1050 Ti? No, not at all. I've not long done a video, I'll pin it here, of how good the performance is on a 1050 Ti if you just want to play really easy to run games and have a bit of fun on a PC. 1050 Ti is £35. Is it a good graphics card? No. Can you have fun with it? Yeah. Don't be a dickhead, there's no need. One of the other things that's irritating about PC gaming is the software side of it. Having to update Windows, update your graphics drivers, and sort out problems with software. Everyone at some point will have some kind of software issues on their gaming PC. Guaranteed. I've never known a single PC gamer not have some kind of issue or weirdness in software that they have had to fix themselves. 9 times out of 10, you can sort this out with a very simple Google search and it's not a problem. Sometimes it can be hours and hours of troubleshooting that leaves you so stressed and pissed off. Having to diagnose like Windows being corrupted, it can be such an irritating time when all you want to do is jump on and play a game, but your Windows 11 has decided to shit itself overnight for no reason whatsoever. You changed nothing, and yet Windows has shit itself, and you've got to sort that out. It's so irritating. And while we're talking about software, bloatware, Gigabyte Control Center, Aorus's software, which is, how is that not the same thing, by the way? Asus, MSI, Corsair, Gamewood, Lian Li, all of these different, Logitech, all this different bloatware that you have to have installed. Razer, oh god, Razers is terrible. All this different software you have to try and control your lighting or your settings or your sensitivity or your DPI, and oh, it's just so irritating. That part of software is a nightmare. There are some tools you can use to get around it. You don't really have to include Razer's software to use their mice, but if you want the functionality of changing your key bindings a little bit easier and having different profiles for what you're doing, the Razer software is quite good for that when it works. And you've got Signal RGB that can allow you to control all the RGB headers regardless of the product, although the implementation of that can be a little bit flaky as well. I'm sick of having Razer Chroma Key, IQ, Asus Aura Creator, whatever it is, and the Gamewood software to control all the RGB in my system. I know it's only RGB, it doesn't really matter. I spent a lot on that and I want it to look nice and I like the aesthetics of it. Unfortunately, it's all ruined by the cooler that has got Chinese writing going across the middle of it because I've uninstalled the TRCC software from Thermalright. Because if you see my last video, that software is so bad It halves your 1% lows and makes all your gaming an absolute stuttery hitching mess. Please feel free to go and watch that last video because that me off so much. I love thermal coolers, but they need to sort that software out. And after that little outburst, we'll be moving on to the thing that angers me most about PC gaming. Scammers. Why is there so many scammers in this place? Because everyone thinks that they know everything they need to know about tech and they can scam people that don't know as much. And it's irritating. eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Bedrock PCs, Amazon PCs. Not all, but there are so many scamming Bedrock PCs especially, the prices that they're selling, basically e-waste, is borderline pathetic. And I would 100% tell every single PC gamer or want to be PC gamer out there, stay away from Bedrock's computers. This year, I've had 3 of their systems in. 3. Every single one has been an overpriced mess, not built correctly, not updated correctly, workarounds and hacks used to get the latest updates for Windows 11, causing weirdness and corrupting the operating system. And the same goes for these Amazon and eBay listings that are Intel i7 gaming machine, and it's got a 1030 in it. 1030 isn't designed for gaming, a 1030 is designed for an extra monitor. Do not get scammed, and if you are out there and you are scamming people, you are putting these gaming, high performance gaming PCs up on Amazon, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and you're scamming people and you're charging £600-700 for £100 worth of hardware. You and the horse you rode in on, you utter. There's no need for it. Make an honest living. Charge reasonable prices. Give people good value. If it means you have to buy and sell a couple of extra PCs that month, so be it. I don't care. Don't scam people. I don't scam people. I do my very utter best not to scam people. Don't scam people. There is no need for it whatsoever. And that's my number one. It me off more than anything. Every single time I see an Amazon listing for an i7 and a high performance graphics card, and I click onto it and it's a 2600K and a GT 660 or a 1030 or a 760 or even a 960. No, you should not be charging £500-700 for these machines. It's pathetic. And for the people out there that are looking at these and they're buying them thinking they're getting what they want, please, please do your research. Reach out to someone that you know that is into tech, that's into gaming, that's into PCs. Ask them what their opinion is. Look at the benchmarks online. Look at the performance you're going to get for your money. Watch YouTube videos of what a £500 budget build looks like or a £600 budget build looks like. Do some research. Don't get scammed. If you absolutely have to, reach out to a computer shop. I know not all computer shops are good. I've had my fair share of issues with local computer shops in the area and me having to fix their f***ups and their scams. But from what I can tell, most people that run a computer shop, they do it because they're passionate about tech. Ask their opinion. They may not give it to you. They may say, well, if you're not going to buy a computer from me, I'm not going to help you. And that kind of tells you all you need to know about that computer shop. So ask another one. That's what I'd do. Stop scamming people. Is PC gaming still worth it? Easily. Better graphics, smoother frame rates, lower input latency, cheaper games, Steam hardware sales, all the different game launchers that have got so many different games to play and at such different prices so you can find the best deals, CD key websites so you can get your games even cheaper, the customization, the full setup, your desk, your mouse, all the different keyboards that you can use and you can have, creating yourself this gaming space around your desk and all the rest of it to game in, which is just so nice and feels so purpose built and feels like yours and it's all personable. PC gaming is awesome. Start to finish. How easy it is to talk to friends, how easy it is to find like-minded people through Discord servers or in-game chat, all the different multiplayer type games that you can play, all the different games that run on really, really low-end hardware that you can still have an absolute blast on. PC gaming is awesome. It's just not perfect, and nothing is. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to watch one of these two, and hopefully I shall see you on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, everything that helps us out. See you on the next one. Bye.